jacked up, and they're not even going to make it to the kingdom. Am I right there, Brother Emmanuel? Because they're just wickedly, they're evil. Yeah. And so it doesn't make any difference what your ethnicity is if your heart is right, brother.
You ain't lying. So we're going to go ahead and get started. Father, we just ask for you to forgive us of our sins and the sins of our ancestors. Thank you for waking us up this morning. Thank you for grace, mercy, and truth, Father. We thank you for blessing us, Father, to complete the fast. And we just hope that you can continue to lead us and guide us into all truth, Father. We ask for you to heal Willie Joe Griffin Jr. We just ask for you to heal the children of the Wilsons, the children of the Kearns, Father, and everybody that's in need, Father. We ask for you to just continue to be our source. We trust in you, Father. All these things we do ask and pray in the name of your beloved Son, Yahushua HaMashiach. Amen. Amen, amen. So Shabbat Shalom, everybody. So today we are going to continue in Faithful to Death. Right? And before we get started, fair use, this is for educational and training purposes. So I got a few videos we're going to watch first, and then we're going to get into the lesson. Right? So you see, I got it this time. So I'm trying. It's big, so they can't say they can't say nothing. They can't say nothing. So here we go.
We now have a generation that believes everything we did by colonizing. Yes, it is true. They think everything about colonization was wrong. It wasn't. There were some terrible things, and there were some good things to come out of it. And that is. We now have a generation that believes everything we did by colonizing. Yes, it is true. They think everything about colonization was wrong. It wasn't. There were some terrible things, and there were some good things to come out of it. And that is about properly acknowledging your past.
Education.
Yes, completely.
Sanitation.
Transportation.
Yeah. There was so much that we brought to communities. But that is. But you see,
you're typical of what we're talking about.
No, I'm saying that colonization, the empire was wrong. It was wrong, full stop. That's, the things that Britain might have done.
But that's very much through your modern sensibilities,
yes.
You might say that, because we wouldn't now routinely go into other countries.
It was a profoundly racist set of basically invasions of other people, where we subjugated people to our rule and sort of made them work for us. It was completely
made their countries work.
But imagine yourself in the shoes of a 13-year-old boy hearing you say that.
Yeah. Right?
Yeah.
What do they then, how do they then carry that through life?
Well,
in terms of who I am as a Brit.
But it's not about...
We had racist ancestors.
Say it,
but Bev.
But I'm saying that we hear much more of that than we do about the benefits of that period of time.
Well, because I don't think there were benefits. I think that we have to be completely...
Of course there were benefits to us.
I don't think there were.
There were benefits to us.
A lot of those countries did not... Jonathan, those countries...
It absolutely does.
Those countries did not have money. They did not have the creativity. They did not have people in positions of power
Of course they had creativity in those countries. They just didn't live like Britain did. It doesn't make it worse. It just makes it different.
So it's okay to live without education, and it's okay to live without a transportation system, is it?
They did have education. It just wasn't our education system. They had language. It wasn't our language.
This cultural
medicine we brought to
precisely what we have.
Look,
yes.
I don't know. Look, I don't know why we're even.
Came out of slavery that we don't talk about. And this is...
Did we create transportation?
Huh? You know we created it. You know we did. And we created education. So what is she talking about?
Yeah.
Right? But this is the mind of the oppressor, right?
Yeah.
So in this hour, you better make sure you know who your tribe is. We talk about that all the time. Because when the stuff comes down the pike, things can go left real fast. Because if y'all are not aware, they already are bringing in your replacements. I've talked to some people about it, right? So we're going to watch another video.
Dozens of white South Africans arrived at Dulles International Airport today.
And it is the first wave of Afrikaners resettled here in the United States under a controversial refugee program that was launched by the Trump administration. Fox 5's Tom Fitzgerald joining us live from Dulles International. Fitz, who are these folks and why are they here again?
Yeah, a lot of questions from folks as this was announced today. You might remember it was back on February 7th that President Trump signed one of his executive orders, but that one had to do with racial discrimination, he says, in the country of South Africa. This is aimed at South Africa's black-led government, and the Trump administration claims that white South Africans who are known as Afrikaners have been the subject of this. So today, this
bill for South African Afrikaners, and there can be a Chinese hate bill, but there's not a hate bill or anything like that to help us out, right? We can't get the reparations that we're owed.
Yeah, because Elon Musk claims that all
because he's South African.
Because all black Africans over there are discriminated against all the white Africans over there. But
why are we worried about other countries? Because like look at the hypocrisy, right? So we're kicking out all of the quote unquote illegals, right? The people that can't get their papers to get pushed through. But you know what they're doing for them?
Bringing them in.
Yeah, and this is just the first wave. This is not it. I'm telling y'all. Huh? Huh?
Some of them they are legal and they're still kicking them out.
Yeah, you're right. Some of them are legal.
Just brown skin, that's what it is.
There's one more. They are the offspring and the offspring's offsprings of the people who did apartheid. Probably, yeah. They are
exactly
the apartheiders.
Right.
Yeah. So that's a made up word, but yeah. So why wouldn't they?
It's really a play on words because they keep us apart and they hide the truth of everything, right? Apartheid, right? That's really what it is. But everything is just like it's literal witchcraft. But again, they're breaking every rule, doing whatever they got to do to bring more, to whiten up America again. And so what you have to start thinking is, okay, you're kicking all of the Hispanics, and a lot of those Hispanics look like us or dark skinned just like us. And then they're bringing in other people that look like them. So if you kick all of them that does a labor that nobody want to do, that means you have to put somebody back in that position. I'm just saying, it could happen. It's either that or they're going to go completely AI. Either way, it's bad.
It's going to be both, probably.
Yeah, either way, it's going to be bad.
It's a spiritual war. He knows it because he's like, we got to get rid of all the woke.
Man, they said by 2050 we will no longer be the majority, so we got to do what we got to do.
They know what's coming.
Very subtle. Well, it's not subtle, but the fact that they can just parade this on the national TV and there's not national outrage, like, wait a minute. Why are we breaking the rules for them and they're going to be paying for everything?
Yeah. They give them everything.
We still waiting on that 40 acres and a mule, though. My bad. We're going to go get back.
Airlift from South Africa to Dulles International Airport was the first group of what we have been told is Afrikaner refugees arriving here at Dulles today. Now, administration officials say that these Afrikaners are the victims of race-based persecution, and federal officials today from the State Department and Homeland Security pledged at the airport as they arrived after a 12-hour flight. The U.S. government would help them with housing, furniture, food, everything they needed to relocate here to the United States.
The president made it clear that Afrikaners in South Africa who were the victims of unjust racial discrimination would be welcome to come to the United States, and he's now delivering on that promise.
And Fitz, there is some controversy over this refugee flight today. So what are critics of the flight saying at this point?
Well, you know, while the president signed this executive order for the Afrikaners on February 7th, you might remember before that, the very first day of this administration, the president effectively shut down the U.S. refugee program. So a lot of these refugee advocates from around the world are saying, you know, look, if you're going to make an exception for these Afrikaners, you know, why aren't you letting refugees in from around at other hot spots throughout the world? And, you know, incidentally, Angie, it's not uncommon for a foreign government to deny that people who are leaving their country are refugees. However, the South African president, vehemently denied that these people are refugees. In fact, he says they do not meet the standard of being a refugee. Instead, in his view, he says they are just not going along with the changes in the country. However, you talk to Afrikaners and they will say they have been the subject of home invasions, of violence. People have had their farmland taken away. So there is a big difference here of opinion as to, whether or not these people are or not refugees. The bottom line is, though, they are here and they are going to be the first wave of future flights the United States is going to bring in to the U.S.
Over here, right? But again, for them, they'll do whatever they gotta do over here. Y'all look like us. We're kin some kind of way. Come on, doggone, let's make America white again.
It sounds like the motive when the Europeans left in their own country, they didn't want to follow their rules.
And so, like, this is a little known fact. Do y'all remember, like, what happened, like Edward was talking about in 1947, 48? Do y'all know America actually refused to take Jewish refugees? America refused it. That's one of the main reasons why they ended up in the Middle East. Because nobody really wanted to take them in. But now, yes, they did not want to take them refugees. They didn't. They refused to. That's why the majority of them ended up in the Middle East in the first place. Because at first they were going to go to where? Kenya, right? They were either trying to go, remember? They were trying to go to Kenya or they were trying to go to Argentina, right? To create their Jewish state, right? So it's just wild when you start looking at stuff like, man, the hypocrisy. Because again, they don't think that they got any type of judgment coming. They think that they can avoid any and all type of judgment. Because we know that judgment's gonna start first with us. So like the elder was saying, we gotta make sure our heart is right. No matter what. It ain't about any race above anything. You gotta find compassion in your heart. You cannot close your bowels of compassion ever. But you always, always, always have to have discernment, no matter what, right? So I got a couple of more videos. Remember, now I said that they're trying to avoid judgment.
Underground cities. Former Bush administration official Catherine Fitz. She was just on Tucker Carlson's podcast, and she did this really deep dive. Basically, they uncovered of what they know of. There are 170 underground cities under the entirety of the U.S. and in the ocean that the U.S. has been building since 1988. With a total of what they found, they've spent over $21 trillion on underground systems and cities. They said that they use an energy source or energy technologies that the public has never been allowed to see. And it's all for the purpose of a potential extinction level event. Like for years now, people are like, what's that sound of it sounds like trumpets in the air and stuff. They're actively drilling under the entire US. And that's what I think the sounds are. It's just literally the earth just shifting underneath their feet. That's creating this noise of these trumpet-like sounds.
Why wouldn't they do it? They have the money, they have the resources, they have the land.
But then here's the question, who's surviving?
Yeah.
Who's on these lists?
And that's the thing. When this stuff gets out, if this thing were to be leaked, which it already has, people realize that. I mean, what are we going to do? We're not going to be on that list. People are going to lose their minds.
Pressure, though, of having to make a decision for your family. They're like, let's just say it was like, you can come if you want. And it's like, you have to make a decision. We're telling you it's going to happen in like 30 days. Are you going to come with us or not? And you actually have to make that call.
Underground cities.
I think what's going on. We'll skip that video. We'll skip that video.
We had one at a theater.
So, beginning the lesson. So today's lesson is titled "The Judas Affect." Right? The Judas Affect. So we're going to start in Leviticus 19. And we're going to read the first 18 verses. So whoever wants to read, come to the mic, please read. It should be good and loud.
Very. The Lord spake unto Moses, saying, Speak unto all the congregation of the children of Israel, and say unto them, Ye shall be holy, for I, the Lord your God, am holy. Ye shall fear every man, his mother, and his father, and keep my Sabbaths. I am the Lord your God. Turn ye not unto idols, nor make to yourselves molten gods. I am the Lord your God. And if ye offer a sacrifice of peace offerings unto the Lord, ye shall offer it at your own will.
So the Most High, this is basically what? The commandments, right? Going over the 10, and then he's expounding on a little bit more. So again, this is the Judas Affect, right? He gives us these things so we don't fall prey to this thing. So keep going.
It shall be eaten the same day he offered, and on the morrow. And if aught remain until the third day, it shall be burnt in the fire. And if it be eaten at all on the third day, it is abominable, it shall not be accepted.
So you make an offering to the Most High, you got to eat it within 3 days, right? Okay, keep going. Well, right. That's why I said within 3 days, so, yeah.
Therefore, everyone that eateth it shall bear his iniquity, because he hath profaned the hallowed thing of the Most High, and that soul shall be cut off from among his people. And when you reap the harvest of your land, you shall not boldly reap the corners of thy field.
Why? Why don't you reap the corners of your field?
The corners. Don't you reap the whole middle part and all that?
But why is he saying not to reap the corners? No, not you, Elder. I know you know it. You're exempt.
Just give us the answer.
Now, keep reading.
Okay.
He said the corners of the field.
I'm going to read it again. And when you reap the harvest of your land, thou shalt not boldly reap the corners of thy field, neither shalt thou gather the cleanings of thy harvest. And thou shalt not clean thy vineyard, neither shalt thou gather every grape of thy vineyard. Thou shalt glean them for the poor and stranger. I am the Most High, Yah.
So we don't reap the corners.
Strangers and poor people.
Now, was race involved in that?
No.
It says for strangers and poor people, right? So we're supposed to always have bowels of compassion for people, no matter what.
Yeah.
It ain't colorism, it ain't racism. Like Martin Luther King said, you judge people off of what? The contents of their character, right? Go ahead, Elder.
And also, I'm just add my piggyback on that. Every 7 years on the 7th year,
you let the land
you're supposed to let the land rest,
right?
And you let the animals, nature, and anybody that wants to come on your property, you don't stop them from doing that.
Nope, you let it just rest. Yep, you're supposed to. And now in America, we know they ain't letting nothing rest.
No.
They don't even like you getting days off at all. Keep going.
You shall not steal, neither deal falsely, neither lie one to another.
So explain to me why this verse is so important.
Because if you steal, you can't trust nobody to steal.
You can't trust no thief, right?
Right.
Or a liar.
They can steal, they can betray.
You gonna lie?
Yeah.
Now think about the political structure of this nation. All they do is lie. All they literally do is steal. You can't trust them. Keep going.
And you shall not swear by my name falsely, neither shalt thou profane the name of thy God. I am the Lord.
So he's saying what? Tell the truth. Especially if you put my holy name in it. Be truthful. Right? Deal righteously. Keep going.
Thou shalt not defraud thy neighbor, neither rob him. The wages of him that is hired shall not abide with thee all night until the morning.
That makes sense, right? Pay what you owe. Simple. Simple stuff, right? Pay what you owe. You owe somebody, don't just try to avoid them like, oh man, let me just not show up. Let me just not leave this on red. Block their number.
Act like you forgot.
Act like you changed addresses, like you done moved out. People be funny, bro. Like I be seeing all kind of crazy stuff on YouTube. Like y'all wild. So I saw this video. This woman was talking bad about her friend that she just took out because it was either her birthday, right? So she got mad because the woman ordered a lot of stuff, which I would have got mad too if I didn't tell them a limit, right?
Yeah.
So she goes on live outside while she's with her, and the friend is the one that drove her there.
Oh wow. So
So she almost got ran over and she ended up getting left and she was just talking crazy. I'm like, man, y'all got no honor, bro. Like the stuff is wild. Like why would you go to, why is the first thing that you're going to do is go directly to live? Because Mashiach told us the process. If I got an issue with you, I got to come to you first. Then you bring one or two other people, then before the assembly or the family, whatever. And then after that, you treat them like a heathen man. But we're raised in a culture where honor is not important. Yeah, everybody just wanted to like, look, this chick show is crazy. This and that. I'm like, you look crazy. You sound crazy. You sound ignorant.
And you took her out for her birthday. So
Yeah, I mean, but still, even with that, you still got to be within reason, especially if that's your friend. They know that how good you're doing if you're not doing too well. You shouldn't be ordering $200 and $300 worth of stuff if you know that both of y'all struggling. Like, that's just being disrespectful. Right. That's trying to hit somebody across the head. That's not loving your neighbor. Right? Keep going.
Thou shalt not curse thou shalt not curse the deaf, nor put a stumbling block before the blind, but shalt fear thy God. I am the Lord.
Now, does that make sense? Like, not cursing people that have disabilities, deaf, blind, whatever. Trying to make people fall. Because, like, some people don't care. Some people really got wicked hearts. Like, oh, man, you see this deaf person, watch this. You know, be saying all kind of expletives and doing all kind of crazy stuff because people's blind. Like, and everything for a like, share, and a subscription on social media. Like, I ain't been on social media in going on 2 years, and I was telling my brother, my Ak, like, hey, and I feel amazing. I don't miss, don't get me wrong, there's some people that I need to reach out to, but I don't miss it at all. Because that instant gratification, you get into pointless arguments and debates with people that you'll never see in real life. You don't even know that if they're real people. They could just be made up AI through some doggone nerd somewhere controlled by the government. You don't know.
That's why you don't respond.
Yeah, exactly.
If I know something that's controversial and somebody says something like, okay, I just move on. Matter of fact, I won't even respond to their comment.
Yeah, like,
that's just gonna make them even madder. Because I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
So make both of y'all
mad.
I used to do that all the time.
So did I when I was younger, but I'm like, man, it ain't about nothing. Because when people are stubborn and stiff, they ain't gonna change. Especially if you didn't come at them the right way, or.
The internet is undefeated, bro.
Yeah.
It's draining.
You ain't lying.
Ain't no point.
You ain't lying. Go ahead.
Ye shall do no unrighteousness in judgment.
Now, is what's going on with the Afrikaners, and then the same merit not happening to the quote unquote other people that don't.
It's not righteous.
That's not righteous judgment.
No.
Just trying to make sure I ain't tripping.
Yeah.
Okay, keep going.
Thou shalt not respect. Thou shalt not respect the person of the poor. Thou shalt not respect the person of the poor, nor honor the person of the mighty. But in righteousness shalt thou judge thy neighbor.
So is America being righteous with doing that?
No, they got problems at home.
Bro,
They take care of.
like this is the land of hypocrisy.
Yeah.
Like, and it's just palpable. Like, right in front of your face, there ain't nothing we can do about it. And with all this going on, it's still hard for our people to galvanize and get together.
Yeah.
That's a heart problem. That's a mind problem. That's got to get fixed, right? Yeah. That's what I like to call the Judas Affect, right? Because you can't, because there's always something. Yeah. There's always an excuse, some reason not to come together. When I'm trying to show y'all, stuff is going to get crazy out here, man. But still, keep going, keep going.
Thou shalt not go up and down as a talebearer among thy people.
Stop lying on folks. Mm-hmm.
Neither shalt thou stand against the blood of thy neighbor. I am the Most High.
Right.
Thou shalt not hate thy brother in thy heart. Thou shalt in any wise rebuke thy neighbor, and not suffer sin upon him.
To rebuke means to correct somebody. Especially if they wrong you or offend you, you correct it then and there. That way it's out in the open.
Yeah.
You know, don't leave it up to interpretation. Yeah. Like, hey, I actually have an issue with this.
Yeah.
You know, but this, you should not hate your neighbor in your heart or your brother, because you know it's you know we're Americans, right? Yeah. You know, we're one nation under God. You know, and when you see this hypocrisy, when you see this blatant nationalism, white nationalism, how can this country not get judged? How? How, Sway?
We ain't got the answers, Sway.
We ain't got them, but I'm telling you, the Most High got them. Like, it's coming.
Well, when that plantation burned down, so I'm like, well, that's just a sign. You might want to get your life.
I'm trying to tell you. Plantation, Master? Okay, go ahead, Jamal. Keep going.
Word line? Okay.
18.
Thou shalt not avenge nor bear any grudge against the children of thy people, but thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself. I am the Most High.
So, we are literally commanded not to have grudges against our own people.
But we still do it. People still do it.
On a daily basis, bro. It's a literal commandment, and we can't even humble ourselves just to do that. Find any excuse to have something against somebody. No, they looked at me weird. No, I think they was talking behind bad on me. You know, this and that and everything in between. And you've just made up a scenario in La La Land. It's not even real. You're building these straw men for no reason. Because then he said, but you shall love your neighbor as yourself.
Treat everybody as you want to be treated.
So, and then it comes to that thing, love, which I know we've read this before. What is love, right? 1 Corinthians 13, right? It makes it pretty plain. Go ahead.
If I speak in the
Tongues.
If I speak in the tongues of men or of angels, but do not have love, I am only a resounding gong or a clanging cymbal.
So I'm just making a whole lot of noise, right? I can do all this stuff. I'm just them people to just be loud for no reason. Yeah. That's all you is. Oh, you can speak in tongues. That's cool. But you don't got no love, your bowels of compassion are closed.
Yeah.
That's really the Judas Affect. Keep going.
Okay. If I have the gift of prophecy and can fathom all mysteries and all knowledge, and if I have a faith that can move mountains, but do not have love, I am nothing.
Like, think about what he's saying. Yeah. You can find the understanding to every mystery. Yeah. Your faith can literally move a mountain, but this one little 4-letter word, if you don't apply it and embody it, you are nothing. That's why this place is going to get destroyed, right? Because they only have love for one group or race or whatever you want to call it. And look at the history of them going to other lands, lying, stealing, killing, raping, robbing, murdering, whatever you want to say. Don't be partakers in our plagues. Keep going.
If I give all I possess to the poor and give over my body to hardship, that I may boast, but do not have love, I gain nothing. Love is patient. Love is kind.
Love is what?
Love is patient. Love is kind.
Go ahead.
It does not envy. It does not boast. It is not proud.
So when the scripture says the love is patient, what does patience mean?
Take time, take time.
Right. It takes time. You don't just give up. It's not like you growing up and you got a boyfriend or a girlfriend at this point in time and then y'all don't like each other, so y'all just go away. As a people, we can't do that.
Well, it's like a couple. It takes a while for you to get to love.
That's what you've been telling, right? Yeah. And then, especially as an assembly, we can't just throw assembly members away just because we perceive some type of wrongdoing, and we haven't even addressed. We haven't. If it's an ought against you or whatever, you haven't rebuked it. You gotta sometimes you gotta let people know, because sometimes people are having a bad day, and the look on their faces because they've been stressed out because of the work week, or family trouble going on, or whatever the case is, death in the family. You just never know, right? But love has got to remain. It's got to be in there, right? You've got to find a way to conquer your emotions.
Being quiet inside, and peaceful, and pray for that.
Ooh.
You pray, and that's what that patience is. And you watch to see them grow.
Instead of you trying to change somebody,
just pray for them. Be quiet, and you look up. Whatever that was is gone.
Give them the same grace that you want.
Ooh, grace. why don't we give our own people the same grace? Right? We just be so short-tempered, short-sighted in thinking, short everything, right? Over here trying to match pockets, like I think he making this much, so I got to do such and such, such. Oh, he got it, so I ain't got to contribute nothing and this and that. Like, no. You talking about a body or an assembly or a family. No, everybody got to do their own part, right? Because you don't want nobody to be overworking and feeling like, man, is that all I am? An ATM? That's it? You just come to me when you need something? That's the only time you talk to me is when you need something.
I just said something last night about this.
You gonna make people leave?
Huh? Yeah. Because it makes people feel worthless. Like, man, the only time you talk to me is when you need something. Right? Huh? Yeah, especially those it's only about money. Some people only call you when they got something going on and they need drama. Like, you can't call me so we can just catch up?
I literally said something to one of my,
Fam.
I guess like a distant family member.
Give her the mic or put the mic closer to her.
I'm sorry.
They ain't gonna reach.
I don't know.
Okay.
You might want to hold it down for it.
No, I was saying this last week, one of my, she kind of like my niece, I guess, but she has my great niece. And she kept, every time she needs something, she'll just call me, can y'all, can this? And I literally had to say, I said, why is it that you always calling and texting and messaging, can I? I said, you never ask me how I'm okay. You'll never say, hey, how's it going? Hey, can I come over and spend some time with y'all? Is there anything that I can get you?
Yeah, do you need something?
And so, and mind you, I've been sick. Like, I went to the ER. Like, I've been with upper respiratory infection. And I get them frequently. And so I'm like, you ain't even said, hey, are you doing okay, auntie? Nothing. I said, don't just call me and text me when you want something. And then after I did this and told her, why did she do that last night? Mind you, this is right after the fast. I've been doing the fast for 5 days. So
yeah, I know. Hey, praise Yahushua.
Yeah.
Praise Yahushua.
So we're riding to go get something to eat, and she's calling, hey, where y'all go? I was like, we're out with the family about to eat. Oh, you're out? I'm like, yes, we are.
Oh, boy.
Can you guys take her to the, no. Did you not hear what I said?
Drunk.
I had to I said, I said, you know, get off the phone with me. Yeah. I'm not trying to go there with you. I said, but I told you, don't call me when you just need something. I said, the answer is no. And then she asked if my son can drive her and take, mind you, this baby is like in the 6th or so something grade, and Devin and his friends are sophomores.
Drunk.
Oh, yeah, and they're like, can you have him and his friends drive her to the movies and go with her? I said, no. That's a big no. Like, are you not listening to me? Look, I just said, you know what, I'm going to let you go. I just hung up. I didn't know she was talking. I just let it go. I don't want to step into that flesh. Mm-hmm. I just finished my fast, and here you go testing me.
Man, look, right after.
You got to be like, no, I'm done. Trimming those branches.
Because the problem is people be listening, but they don't be hearing you. Yeah. Or vice versa. It's not effective communication.
Or they only hear you when you do something for them.
Right, because it's only about what I can get out of you. Yeah. But that's not love, though. Like, that's the whole point. Like, we should not as a people be mooches. We should not as a people only hit people up because we need something. Hey, man. Oh, man. Like, no, sometimes, just chop it up. Right? Oh, man, dude, that's what you be doing. Because it was a point to where I called my brother, and every time I call, he think I wanted him to come and help me do something. But sometimes I just be calling just to chop it up, and he just don't answer. So that's why he's laughing so hard.
It's always hard labor with brothers.
Say what? Hey, it's hard, but it's fair. It's hard. It's hard, but it's fair.
Yeah.
But man, and
call mama to get me to answer the phone.
Oh yeah, kind of figured they're like, okay, he ain't answering. Let me call my Dukes real quick. Oh, got him in that thing, right?
Hey bro, how you doing? It's a mountain today.
It's a mountain.
All right.
It's always a mountain mess with me. You always want to build a mountain, go over a mountain, go through a mountain.
We gonna hey, but you be doing stuff you ain't never done before.
True.
Yeah, you ain't lying about that. So again, it says love is patient, love is kind, it does not envy. Why do people be worried about what other people got going? I never understood that.
Some people's lives were born, perceived, and
I just can't understand. Like, I don't have the time to be focused and worried about everybody else and what everybody else got going on in their life. I don't have the time. I don't have the energy. Do you know how many other people there is in the world?
Yeah, 7.8 billion.
And I'm just one of them.
Yeah.
Like it would be over a full-time job trying to keep up with everybody, the Joneses, trying to do whatever whatever it is, worried about everybody else. And people will literally drive themselves crazy, give themselves mental disorders because they worried about everybody else and not living in love and in peace from the Most High. Right? Worried about the things that don't matter. It don't matter what nobody else got going on. Get your heart right. Get yourself ready. Right? It does not boast. It is not proud. It does not dishonor others. It is not self-seeking, selfish. It is not easily angered. So you passed your test since you did not fall prey to being easily angered. Because some of our people, oh man, talk about having a short fuse. And it's just because like a lot of times, because we're in a generation to where we're breaking curses. And we're with us breaking the mold, we can actually teach kids the right way. To communicate, to act, because a lot of these grown-ups is some grown kids, like straight up, never. And when I say that, I'm talking about immaturity. I'm not talking about they're not paying their bills and all this other type of stuff, but emotional maturity.
When it comes to that communication and being honest about how you feel,
man, like some, especially our folks, like they just be ignorant because all they want to do is listen to whatever trash that they got on the radio and watching whatever, show they got going on. And that's the way that they think life is supposed to be. And how you're supposed to act. Go ahead.
but it's a really bad stigma, especially when our people who are, especially in like an education position, where they teach our children, because over at one of the schools, we have predominantly us there, but they did not know how to teach our children. It was a shutdown, yelling at them, sit down, that's not this. It's like, you can't teach them properly because you haven't even came in contact and understood your own feelings in order to respect theirs. It's like they just think, oh, well, you're a child, you don't feel nothing.
Right.
And it's a really bad stigma, and that's a horrible generational curse that we have to break.
Yeah, we do, because there's more than one way to teach, because everybody don't learn the same.
Right.
You have to have different approaches. So just like we talk about, we have to be coachable. Well, you actually have to, be creative sometimes, because some projects are a little harder than others at times, right? It's not a one size fits all. And then it says, it does not dishonor others. It is not self-seeking. It is not easily angered. It keeps no record of wrongs. Because we know, because he just told us in Leviticus, we ain't supposed to be holding grudges. But man, we definitely keep records. Now, yeah, I mean, but you don't get me wrong. If somebody keep doing you wrong, like, all right, yeah, I'm gonna have to cut that off. But the same token, if they're showing you that they've changed and you still holding on to this other person that they're not even no more, who's in the wrong there? You are, right? So we're gonna keep going. Love does not delight in in evil, but rejoices with the truth. It don't sound like this nation at all. It always protects, always trusts, always hopes, always perseveres. So in our individual lives, are we always hoping, trusting, and persevering with our people? No. With our assembly members? Are we throwing people away like they ain't nothing? Because they've been through the same trauma that we've been through. Just because we are the ones breaking through first don't mean that they won't be a later offshoot. Right? So it's our example that helps to change them. We are the light and the salt of the world. Yeah. So don't lose your savor. Yeah. Right? Love never fails. But where there are prophecies, they will cease. Where there are tongues, they will be stilled. Where there is knowledge, it will pass away. For we know in part and we prophesy in part. But when completeness comes, what is in part disappears. Right? That was talking about Mashiach. When I was a child, I talked like a child. I thought like a child. I reasoned like a child. When I became a man, I put the ways of childhood behind me. Right? Because certain things you just got to mature about. Like, I can't do that no more. Like that ain't, I can't even move like that. For now we see only a reflection as in a mirror. Then we shall see face to face. Now I know in part. Then I shall know fully, even as I am fully known. Right? And now these three remain: faith, hope, and love. But the greatest of these is love. And I say that because we're talking about the Judas Effect. So we've learned about love again, right? We've relearned about love again. What love is supposed to look like, how it's supposed to operate. So now we're just going to look at the life, or look at certain parts in the scriptures about Judas and really see if he's actually embodying that. So we're going to go back to Mark 14. Yeah, back to Mark 14. We're going to read verses 17 through 21.
And in the evening he cometh with the 12.
That's Mashiach and his 12. Mm-hmm.
And as they sat and did eat, Yeshua said, Verily I say unto you, one of you which eateth with me shall betray me.
That's cold, man.
Yeah. And they began to be sorrowful, and to say unto him one by one, Is it I? And another said, Is it I? And he answered and said unto them, It is one of the 12 that dippeth with me in the dish. The Son of Man indeed goeth as it is written of him, but woe to that man by whom the Son of Man is betrayed. Good were it for that man, were it for that man if he had never been born. So he might have never been born.
Yeah, he should have definitely should have been a plan B. Right? That's what he just said. It's better if he wasn't born. I'm just, freestyling it. But he says this thing, and all the disciples get sorrowful.
Of course.
How come they don't know or know that they have the right love in their heart at that point in time?
Because they know he knows everything. Well, he knows more than them.
Right, but like that, like sometimes I be looking at the scriptures and I'm like,
yeah.
If you really won with him, like, wait a minute, I'd have been, well,
Ain't me.
Because they all together, they think.
I'd have been looking around like,
Yeah, they all think like we all.
no, I'd have been looking like, which one of y'all is it? Like, I'm not about to do all that, because that's why he said one of y'all gonna kill me.
My thing is, you all together, y'all should all know each other's characteristics.
That's my point. They should know each other, right?
Yeah.
So why is everyone being sorrowful? Everyone asking, is it me? Yeah. Why are they not sure? Why are they not sure about the love that they have in their heart? Is my point. Yeah. Right? They should have already been bedrock. Like, nah. Look, according to the Torah, I can't even come close to this. So this can't be me. Let me go and freshen up on this. He ain't talking about me. Let me see which one of y'all it is.
He just caught him on guard with that, like what?
Right?
Yeah.
So now we're gonna jump to Galatians 5. Galatians 5, and we're gonna read verses 6 through 10. So 6 through. Well, am I jumping too early? Why is that there? That's not in the right order. Hold on. Well, we'll go ahead and go with it. That's why I was looking at it crazy. Okay, we'll go ahead and go with it. I switched it, but it didn't save. Okay. Verses 6 through 10. It says, For in Yahushua Mashiach neither circumcision availeth anything, no uncircumcision, but faith, which worketh by love. There we go again. Love. You did run well. Who did hinder you that you should not obey the truth? So, the context of Galatians, it was about the circumcision versus the uncircumcision. They was trying to have men become circumcised that, it was way past the 8th day, right? Yeah. That commandment was already broken, right? This persuasion cometh not of him that calleth you. A little leaven leaveneth the whole lump. I have confidence in you through the Most High, that you will be none otherwise minded, but he that troubleth you shall bear his judgment, whosoever he be. So when it says a little leaven leavens the whole lump, what is that?
One bad apple spoils the bunch.
One bad apple, right? or mold, like, will spoil everything, right? It only takes one. But the same thing can go with the righteous person. Can help change a whole nation, because that's what happened when Moses appeared, right? Or when Mashiach appeared, for those that can truly believe in him, right? So when it comes to the Judas Affect, you think that the other disciples didn't have some type of idea of the kind of nature of person that he was? Because you just brought it up. Now, I want y'all to pay attention, like when we're going back to the scriptures or whatever, and see when this incident happens, if it was just Judas that gets offended or if others get offended with him, right? So, like that word, troubleth, right? That word means to agitate, to trouble, to cause one inward commotion, take away his calmness of mind, to disquiet him, right? To strike one's spirit with fear and dread. It makes you anxious or distressed, right? So I want y'all to see the verb that's used in this next verse, right? So
That's for trouble.
For trouble from Galatians 5, right? The word was like tarasso or something like that. So going back to Mark 14. Now we're going to read verses 1 through 9. Go ahead.
After 2 days was the feast of the Passover and of unleavened bread. And the chief priests and the scribes sought how they might take him by craft and put him to death. But they said, not on the feast day, lest there be an uproar of the people.
And again, the hypocrisy is even the days that happened, it was still on a feast day, because that's an 8-day period, right? Hypocrisy. Keep going.
And being in Bethany, in the house of Simon the leper, as he sat at meat, there came a woman having an alabaster box of ointment of spikenard, very precious, and she brake the box and poured it on his head.
So what's this woman's name? Don't say none other.
The leper?
No, the woman. No. It's not there. I just want to know if y'all know this account. If y'all remember this account. I know we've read it. If not, keep going. Just keep going.
What's her name?
We'll get to it. We're going to read it.
And there were some that had indignation within themselves and said, why was this waste of the money? Oh, yeah, because she wasted so much money on that ointment instead of, an ointment made. For it might have been sold for more than 300 pence and have been given to the poor. And they murmured against her, because she cleaned his feet, right, with that.
And was it just Judas?
I don't Judas.
No, read it. Read that again.
Which part?
4.
And there were some that had indignation within themselves. So some. And said, why was this waste of the ointment made? So it was more than one.
So it was more than just one.
Yeah.
But we know that Judas was kind of known because he was really in charge of the money.
Yeah.
But a little leaven can leaven the whole lump. Yeah. That's why when Mashiach says that, they get convicted like, man, is it I? Because like the more that you fellowship with people and come around them, the more you start picking up on their spirit and in their nature, their energy, right? Keep going.
That's right. I read it. For it might have been sold for more than 300 pence and have been given to the poor, and they have murmured against her.
Now, do you really think it was going to be given to the poor?
Nah, because they need money for themselves.
Right, because like it kind of felt like it was a lust for money.
Yeah.
And it kind of felt like, it really felt like envy.
Yeah.
Like,
because she had so many expensive, and they didn't really.
Bro, that word, they said that they had indignation, bro. So, because I forgot to put that in here. Hold on. Let me go back. That's Mark 14, right?
Yeah, 1 through 9.
Mark 14. And they had indignation. What verse was it with indignation? 4. So this word indignation, I can't even repeat it. It means to be much displeased, Be sore displeased. It means have indignation. What is indignation?
Being bothered by something pretty much.
Right. Hold on. Because I forgot, again, my apologies on this one. Normally I have the definitions in there, but I didn't have time for that one. Does indignation. There we go. Anger, annoyance, provoked, perceived of unfair treatment. So, unfair treatment? Well, why is she doing that for him?
Yeah.
Do you know who he is? Do you have any idea? Y'all so worried about, oh, we could have done this and that. No, y'all wanted to spend this money on some other stuff. It wasn't just for the poor. Yeah, because like you worried about the last cent, $300, man. We could have got $300. She wasting it on his what? On his head? And Yahusha said, let her alone. Why trouble you her? She have wrought a good work on me. Like, why is you worried about what she just did for me? What is y'all really focused on right now? Have y'all not been listening to the words that I've been telling y'all?
That's the 12 doing this?
This is the 12. His closest disciples. Right. He's like, do y'all not listen when I'm telling y'all that I'm not here for a long time. My time is getting short. Man, when you read the text, he's always telling them like, hey, I'm gonna be here for a little bit and I'm gonna suffer. And I'm gonna die, but I'm gonna rebuild this temple in 3 days. And they just had none understanding. Because they were so in awe of the acts and the miracles that he did that they weren't really listening to the words that he was speaking to them, right? And that's supposed to be our daily bread, right? For you have the poor with you always, and whensoever you will, you may do them good, but me you have not always. She have done what she could. She has come aforehand to anoint my body to the burying. He's telling them right then and there too, like, yeah, like she's getting me ready to go ahead and, go to the upper room. Verily I say unto you, wheresoever this Basora shall be preached throughout the whole world, this also that she have done shall be spoken of for a memorial of her. So we know that she had a purpose, and her purpose was making sure that he would be acceptable to the Father once he went up, right? So now, go ahead, Elder. We're going to Matthew 26, my bad.
I want to make a comment. Mike. When we were talking about the disciples, when they were asking, when they were asking, is it me, Master? And they were kind of in awe, they didn't know. One of the reasons that they had that kind of doubt, didn't know. You ever remember the story of going way back with Jacob and Esau? When the Most High said, Jacob I love, Esau I hate. See, you have to remember that before we were created flesh, we were with the Most High.
Yes, we were.
And the thing about it, they don't know if they did something that displeased him, because he said that, always said that all souls are mine to go ahead and do whatever they want. I can go ahead and make a chamber pot of somebody, or I can make a beautiful vase. So they're kind of in awe, like, man, I don't know if I did something to displease the Master when I was with him, and if he's going to go ahead and take it out and make me, this is something to kind of think about too.
Yeah. Because, like, don't get me wrong, like, we're all fallible. We're all human flesh, right? But, again, like, when you start looking at this stuff and it's like, man, so y'all have an indignation because she did something for the Master?
Yeah, more than what they could do.
Like, that was such an honorable thing. Like, how could you even think about money in that instance? Right? Like, that kind of shows you where their focus is at. Because it went straight to money, 300 pence. Right? So we're going to Matthew 26. We're going to read verses 1 through 13. You can go ahead.
And it came to pass, when Yeshua had finished all these sayings, he said unto his disciples, you know that after 2 days is the feast of the Passover.
Sound familiar, right?
And the Son of Man is betrayed to be crucified. Then assembled together the chief priests and scribes and the elders of the people unto the palace of the high priest, who was called Caiaphas, and consulted that they might take Yeshua by subtlety and kill him. But they said, not on the feast day, lest there be an uproar among the people.
They sound like snakes. Subtly. We got to be subtle with this thing, right? Sound like Genesis, I believe that's 2.
Nobody knows what's going on because, still a feast going on.
Mm-hmm. Keep going.
Now when you shoot,
That's South Africa.
yeah, subtle. Yeah.
Subtlety. Yep. There you go. There you go.
Yeah. Now when Yeshua was in Bethany in the house of Simon the leper, there came unto him a woman having an alabaster box of very precious ointment, and poured it on his head as he sat at meat. But when his disciples saw it, they had indignation, saying, to what purpose is this waste?
Keep going.
For this ointment might have been sold for much and given to the poor.
Right? So again, you gonna waste all that? Like, no, you don't understand what's about to go down. Because that's one thing that I've learned about women being married. Like, they listen to every word that you say.
Yeah.
Even when they act like they ain't listening, they listening. And they will hold you to it. Or they would just, their memory just comes out of nowhere. Years later, like, no, I remember you said boom, boom, bam. So imagine these other women being still a part of the inner circle, even around the 12, and they're just being attentive, like, okay, I hear what you're saying. Something must be getting ready to go down. But again, when you're focused on other things instead of Mashiach, you can fall prey to this leavening, right? Keep going.
When Yeshua understood it, he said unto them, why trouble ye the women? For she hath wrought a good work upon me.
So now we read Mark's account. This is Matthew's account.
For you have the poor always with you, but me you will have not always. For in that she hath poured this ointment on my body, she did it for my burial. Verily, I say unto you, wheresoever this gospel shall be preached in the whole world, there shall always that this woman have done be told for a memorial of her.
And look, we're reading about it now, thousands of years later. So, what event led Judas to want to kill Mashiach? Does anybody know? What was the last straw on the camel's back? And then the next thing you know, okay, I'm out to help.
When Yeshua told everybody who was going to be and said after they ate, he kissed them on the cheek or whatever? Put him on
No, it was before that. When did he actually get the idea to go and do that?
Oh.
So, and like the thing about this Judas Affect, right? Because I don't even know why they Hellenized the word, because it's not Judas, it's Judah, right? So our people be having the same mindset, right? Worried about the focus on the wrong things, focus on money and whatever else you can get for yourself, and not operating in love. That's why it's the Judas Affect, right? You have to have the Most High or help you to correct and to perfect the love in your heart, right? Especially for your neighbor or your brother, anybody that's a part of the tribe or the assembly, right? You're supposed to be walking in brotherly and sisterly love. But when you're focused on, when it's the love of money,
don't want to lose no money. But to be honest, I don't think I can remember.
Okay, because we gonna read it.
Okay, good.
We gonna read it. So now we're gonna go to Luke 22, and first we're gonna read the first 6 verses of this, and then we're gonna go to believe it's John after this.
All right. Now the feast of unleavened bread drew nigh, which is called the Passover. And the chief priests and scribes sought how they might kill him, for they feared the people. Then entered Satan into Judas, surnamed Iscariot, being of the number of the 12.
So Hasatan, because again, he's not focusing on the right things. So he manifests Hasatan, enters into him. Now this isn't the exact event. We're going to get there, right? So that word Satan means adversary, prince of evil spirits. Let me go back. My bad. I'm clicking too much. Prince of evil spirits, the worshiper of idols, right? Adversary, or a Satan-like man, right? Because that's what he turned into, right? How could you want to kill your brother? How could you hate your brother in your heart? Wishing death on your own brother.
And still be around.
Now think about from a national perspective, because again, that's what our people. Yeah, I'm gonna kill me a nigga today. Oh yeah, I wish a nigga would try me. Yeah, they're gonna be 6 feet deep. Whoop de whoop, blase, blase, talking all crazy. No love, no honor, no respect, no anything. Right? No book in you. So we're gonna keep going.
And he went his way and communed with the chief priests and captains, how he might betray him unto them. And they were glad and covenanted to give him money. And he promised and sought opportunity to betray him unto them in the absence of the multitude.
So he was trying to catch Mashiach slipping. Like, oh man, no, I can't do it now. Like, all right, I'm gonna give him. Don't worry about it. Hey, y'all still got my money, right? Okay, cool. Yeah, because ain't no way he gonna just waste that on him and I don't get nothing. I can't make nothing out of that. But again, that's where his worship was at. It was on things. It was on money. It wasn't on things that's really gonna give him value, right? John 11. Now we're gonna read the actual account that was the last straw on the camel's back. I think it's this one. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Now a certain man was sick, named Lazarus, of Bethany, the town of Mary and her sister Martha. It was that Mary which anointed the Most High with ointment.
No, Mashiach.
With ointment, and wiped his feet with her hair, whose brother Lazarus was sick.
So the same woman that did all this, her brother is sick.
Yeah.
Right?
Therefore his sisters sent unto him, saying, Lord, behold, he whom thou lovest is sick. When Yeshua heard that, he said, this sickness is not unto death, but for the glory of the Most High, that the Son of Yah might be glorified thereby. Now Yeshua loved Martha and her sister and Lazarus.
So Lazarus' sickness was not unto death, but he did die.
Yeah, he did.
And I'm here to tell you that Judas Affect will kill you. And not in the good spiritual way, in the worst possible way. If you got hate in your heart towards your neighbor, you're not gonna make it in.
Yeah,
it's not gonna happen. Especially like when the judgment comes out and the Most High is like, oh, you don't love your own people? You know I got a covenant with them too, right?
Yeah.
Get away from me.
Well, he said the hate out your heart.
Huh? You gotta let your hate out your heart. Like, you ain't gonna make it. It's right here. You can sit on your uncle. Go ahead. Big Unc. That's Big Unc right there. When he had heard, therefore, that he was sick, he abode there 2 days still in the same place where he was. So he didn't just jump up and go. Then after that, saith he to his disciples, let us go into Judea again. His disciples say unto him, Master, the Yahudim of late sought to stone you, and goest you thither again? You going there again? You know they was trying to kill you, right? Yahusha answered, and are there not 12 hours in the day? If any man walk in the day, he stumbleth not, because he seeth the light of this world. But if a man walk in the night, he stumbleth, because there is no light in him. These things said he, and after that he said unto them, Our friend Lazarus sleepeth, but I go, that I may awake him out of sleep. Then said his disciples, Master, if he sleep, he shall do well. Howbeit Yahusha spake of his death, but they thought that he had spoken of taking of rest in sleep. Then said Yahusha unto them plainly, Lazarus is dead, and I am glad for your sakes that I was not there, to the intent you may believe. Nevertheless, let us go unto him. So he was happy, like, okay, I get to perform this mighty work. And then unequivocally, y'all gonna know who I am.
Y'all don't have to know that.
Ain't gonna be no mistaking about it. You gonna know who I am.
Yeah.
Then said Thomas, which is called Didymus, unto his fellow disciples, Let us also go, that we may die with him. What are y'all talking about? Then when Yahusha came, he found that he had lain in the grove 4 days already.
Grave.
Oh, my bad, grave. I said grove. Now Bethany was nigh unto Jerusalem, about 15 furlongs off. And many of the Yahudim came to Martha and Mary to comfort them concerning their brother. Then Martha, as soon as she heard that Yahusha was coming, went and met him. But Mary sat still in the house. Go ahead and read.
Then said Martha unto Yeshua, Lord, if thou hadst been here, my brother had not died.
Right.
But I know that even now, whatsoever thou wilt ask of Yah, Yah will give it to thee.
You see that faith?
Yeah. Yeah.
That faith it's about to move a mountain.
Yeah. Yeshua said unto her, Thy brother shall rise again. Martha said unto him, I know that he will rise again in the resurrection at the last day. Yeshua said unto her, I am the resurrection and the life. He that believeth in me, though he were dead, yet shall he live.
Because he's got the power over death in any situation or circumstance. You got to call out to him. You got to believe in it. But he can turn anything around. And this is really symbolic of what's going to happen to the nation. Because as a nation, we've been dead. Right? I'll wait to get to that part. I'll wait. Keep going.
And whosoever liveth and believeth in me shall never die. Believeth thou this? She said unto him, Yeah, Lord, I believe that thou art the Christ, the Son of Yah, which should come into the world. And when she had so said, she went her way and called Mary her sister secretly, saying, The Master is come, and calleth for thee. As soon as she heard that, she arose quickly and came unto him. Now Yeshua was not yet come into the town, but was in that place where Martha met him.
Right.
The Jews then which were with her in the house and comforted her, when they saw Mary, that she rose up hastily and went out, followed her, saying, She goeth unto the grave to weep there. Then when Mary was come where Jesus was and saw him, she fell down at his feet, saying unto him, Lord, if thou hadst been here, my brother wouldn't have died. When Yeshua therefore saw her weeping, and the Jews also weeping, which came with her, he groaned in the spirit, and was troubled, and said, Where have ye laid him? They said unto him, Lord, come and see. Jesus wept.
So even Mashiach cried, right? Because everybody was crying because everyone loved Lazarus, apparently. Right? I'll read this one. Then said the Yahudim, Behold, how he loved him. And some of them said, Could not this man which opened the eyes of the blind have caused that even this man should not have died? Yahusha, therefore, again groaning in himself, cometh to the grave. It was a cave, and a stone lay upon it. And Yahusha said, Take you away the stone, Martha. Away the stone, Martha, the sister of him that was dead, and saith unto him, Master, by this time he stink, for he hath been dead 4 days. Yahusha saith unto her, Said I not unto you, that if you would believe, you should see the glory of Yah? Because I still believe our people can come together and will come together. It may take a mighty destruction to where we ain't going to have no choice, but it's going to happen. The only thing that we can do is keep working on our tribe and making sure that we're rooting out any Judas Affect that may be plaguing us, because that's what it is. It's a curse, right? Then they took away the stone from the place where the dead was laid. And Yahusha lifted up his eyes and said, Father, I thank you that you have heard me. And I knew that you hear me always. But because of the people which stand by, I said it, that they may believe that you have sent me. So he was grateful for this opportunity to manifest the Most High's name. And when he said thus and had spoken, he cried with a loud voice, Lazarus, come forth. And he that was dead came forth. That would be so scary if we saw that in real life, wouldn't it? Yeah, looking like a zombie, or like a mummy. And he that was dead came forth, bound hand and foot with grave clothes, and his face was bound about with a napkin. Yahushua saith unto them, loose him and let him go. Because like we mixed with the Egyptians so long, we had the same burial practices for a lot of people. Go ahead, Elder. Go ahead.
Actually, think about what you said. It would be something to behold. Just think about it. He's bound, mummified.
He's literally mummified.
So actually, he floated upright. It's kind of floated. Yeah.
That would really look scary. Yeah. Like you see after images of everybody like, nah, I don't know what that is. Man be like, nah, that ain't natural. I'm gone. Like, and he that was dead came forth, bound hand and foot in grave clothes, and his face was bound about with a napkin. Yahushua said unto them, loose him and let him go. Then many of the Yahudim which came to Mary had seen the things which Yahushua did, believed on him. Right? Sometimes believing is having faith, I guess. Sometimes seeing is believing. But we have to have the greater faith because we don't necessarily get to see those things all the time. But some of them, now right after Lazarus has been raised from the dead, but some of them went their ways to the Pharisees and told them what things Yahushua had done. Then gathered the chief priests and the Pharisees a council and said, what do we? For this man doeth many miracles. If we let him thus alone, all men will believe on him. And the Romans shall come and take away both our place and nation. Do you think... Well, we know a lot of the Edomites had kind of taken over the Levitical order and stuff at the time also. But worried about this power, position, and to be honest, Mashiach wasn't trying to take nothing from them. He was just trying to teach people correctly. That's it. Serve the Most High with all your heart. Love him. Love your neighbor as yourself.
They just so jealous, bro.
Bro, envy. We just talked about love. Envy. Yeah. You're not supposed to be doing none of that. But they didn't want all the people going to follow after him. Ain't nobody going to listen to us. We're going to be up here in an empty room and ain't nobody going to come and give us sacrifices no more. No, we're going to have to get rid of him. That's the Judas Affect. It don't make no sense. He just raised a man from the dead. Y'all should be trying to learn from him. Like, at least that's what goes through my mind. Like, you want to take him off the set?
Yeah, that's crazy.
He just raised a man from... I'm not talking like in a movie. I'm talking in real life. Like a real life mummy came up out of that thing. And they had to unwrap him. And y'all want to kill him. This stuff is wild, man. And one of them, named Caiaphas, being the high priest that same year, said unto them, you know nothing at all, nor consider that it is expedient for us that one man should die for the people, which he was right, and that the whole nation perish not. And this spake he, not of himself, but being the high priest that year, he prophesied that Yahushua should die for that nation. And not for that nation only, but that also he should gather together in one the children of the Most High that were scattered abroad. So even back then they knew Mashiach, if he's going to die, that means that we're all going to end up coming back. Because we would be a part of greater Israel, right? The ones that are truly in the diaspora, right? Then from that day forth they took counsel for to put him to death. Huh? Oh. Yahushua therefore walked no more openly among the Yahudim, but went thence unto a country near to the wilderness, into a city called Ephraim, and there continued with his disciples. And the Yahudim Passover was nigh at hand, and many went out of the country up to Jerusalem before the Passover to purify themselves. Then sought they for Yahushua, and spake among themselves as they stood in the temple, what think you? that he will not come to the feast? Now that's a strange question or statement to kind of make or question, because it really sounds like Judas is the one making that. Now both the chief priests and the Pharisees had given a commandment that if any man knew where he were, he should show it, that they might take him. So again, this is right after. So it's about a 6-day time period. Lazarus is raised from the dead, and Passover is Passover was 4 days from that. So shortly after that is when Judas ends up meeting up with them for this council for this 30 pieces of silver. So we know the ultimate price of the Judas Effect. We know what the wages of sin is. Matthew 27. Matthew 27. When the morning was come, all the chief priests and elders of the people took counsel against Yahushua to put him to death. And when they had bound him, they led him away and delivered him to Pontius Pilate, the governor. Then Judah, which had betrayed him, when he saw that he was condemned, repented, and brought again the 30 pieces of silver to the chief priests and elders.
Too late now. Too late now.
Like, they're going to kill him.
Yeah. Too late now.
You want to repent after you done sentence this man to death.
He shouldn't have been condemned regardless of what he was doing already. Yeah. They want to go give your money back. They ain't going to stop now.
No, it ain't going to stop nothing. Saying, I have sinned in that I have betrayed the innocent blood. And they said, what is that to us? See thou to that. And he cast down the pieces of silver in the temple and departed and went and hanged himself. So the reason why I'm saying that was the last straw that broke the camel's back, because you remember when we read in Mark 14 and those other scriptures where it talked about when they were at Simon the leper's house?
Yeah.
That's where all this stuff happened. Go ahead.
Did he hang himself?
Yeah, he did.
Oh, we about to read it, yeah. Absolutely.
But the reason I asked that now is it's pretty hard for a man to hang himself, but yet he got cut from his Adam's apple down to his private parts. But you think don't you think he might have had some help involved in that?
He probably did have some help involved, but
people hang themselves all the time. That's not hard.
Well, he's talking about back then.
All you gotta do is get a rope and just tie it around a tree or something.
What did I just say?
But so he don't know the account from Acts, so I'm gonna read it from Acts here in a minute. So the thing is, when this Judas affects, if it keeps infecting you and you don't take the cure, all of these mental health disorders, all of these depressive, suicidal, whatever you want to call it, ends up taking over. Cause I still can't believe, how you gonna repent after you done sentenced this man to death? Like, you knew they was gonna kill him. Not to mention you betray him with a kiss. Like the literal kiss of death. Like, you become delusional in the Judas Effect. Right? Like, literally. Because what did he think was gonna happen? Because I'm telling you, he was still mad that he didn't get that 300 pence from that alabaster box of oil. Like, it's wild. It's like, man, we could have 300 pence and we could have gave it to the poor.
That's so small, bro. That's so small. That's crazy.
But we know, especially our people, that they love money. They'll do anything for it. They'll sell their soul for money. Gain the whole world. Kanye, all them. But you lose your soul. You lose your dignity. You lose everything. Right? That's why it's important that we make sure that we don't have that Judas Effect, because it's literally in our DNA. Right? Look at, if you look down, when we keep having these, I don't want to call them messiahs or anointed people that come up and they're galvanizing our nation, this and that, our people end up taking payoffs and setting them up to die.
Backdoor. Yeah.
Right? Backdoor them. Right? That's the Judas Effect. Right? So whether people like to believe it or not, we are the descendants of what I would like to call prophet killers. Because throughout the whole book, our people were always killing the prophets. Right? Or even just killing people ignorantly. We'd rather have Barabbas, a thief and a murderer, than Mashiach. That's the Judas Effect. Like, it don't add up. So, and then it says, and he cast down the pieces of silver in the temple and departed and went and hanged himself. Right, verse 6. And the chief priest took the silver pieces and said, it is not lawful for to put them into the treasury, because it is the price of blood. So the chief priests, like, you know, this is innocent blood, and like there's no shame, no repentance, no nothing. Like, all of them had the Judas effect. They didn't care. They just wanted the threat eliminated because they were envious and jealous, and they were holding grudges against Mashiach without a cause. So, it's the exact same thing. You already know with politics. And then a lot of our people are charlatans, and they'll just, okay, what you want me to say what and do what? I got you. Don't even worry about it. Whether Democrat or Republican. That's why I don't trust none of them. Oh yeah, you know, it's the same game. They just remix it. And they took counsel and bought with them the potter's field to bury strangers in. Wherefore that field was called the field of blood unto this day. Then was fulfilled that which was spoken by Jeremy the prophet, that's actually Zechariah 11, I believe, saying, and they took the 30 pieces of silver, the price of him that was valued, whom they of the children of Israel did value, and gave them for the potter's field as Yahuwah appointed me. Right? But again, that's Zechariah, I believe it's 11. So now to the elders' point, we're going to go to Acts 1. Acts 1. Come on. We'll start at verse 15. Jeremiah, if you don't mind reading.
And in those days, Peter stood up in the midst of the disciples and said, the number of names together were about 120.
Right? So the numbers got back up after Mashiach rose from the dead.
Men and brethren, this scripture must needs have been fulfilled, which the Holy Ghost by the mouth of David spake before concerning Judas, which was guide to them that took Yeshua.
So a lot of the Psalms that David has, he's actually prophesying what's going to happen in the future, right? Okay, keep going.
For he was numbered with us and had obtained part of this ministry.
Talking about Judah.
Now this man purchased a field with the reward of iniquity, and falling headlong, he burst asunder in the midst, and all his bowels gushed out.
So it wasn't just that he hung himself like the elder was talking about. Everything came out after he hung himself. So that's why he was saying he probably had help with the hanging, is what he elder was referring to.
Okay. And it was known unto all the dwellers at Jerusalem, in so much as that field is called in their proper tongue, I said a Seldama.
A Seldama.
That is to say, the field of blood. For it is written in the book of Psalms, let his habitation be desolate, and let no man dwell therein. And his bishopric. Let another take.
So his bishopric, that would be like an apostle, basically. His headship in the ministry, right? Because he was called in, he was actually chosen, right? But he still fell. So somebody else has got to take that spot or position, right? So this Judas Affect led him to kill himself because he did what? Innocent blood. Now, mind you, this is another reason why I always pray, to have the sins of the ancestors waived off, because they said what? Let his blood be upon us and our children. So that's why I said it's literally in our DNA. Our ancestors said that, which is still wild to me. Like, man, I don't want no part of no Judas Effect. Look, hey. Yeah, bro. Yeah, the stuff be crazy, because it can literally lead you to the field of blood where strangers are buried. Yeah. Oh, it's just not righteous for us to have the money in the treasury. Let's go buy a field. Call it the field of blood. That's the honorable thing to do. Wicked devils.
Wherefore are these men which have company with us all the time that the Lord Yeshua went out and among us, beginning from the baptism of John unto that same day he was taken up from us, must one be ordained to be a witness with us of his resurrection. And they appointed two, Joseph, called
Barsabbas.
Who was surnamed Justus, and Matthias. And they prayed and said, Thou, Lord, which knoweth the hearts of all men, show whether of these two thou hast chosen, that he may take part of this ministry and apostleship, from which Judah by transgression fell, that he might go to his own place. And they gave forth their lots, and the lot fell upon Matthias, and he was numbered with the 11 apostles.
Right, which made it 12. But because he couldn't control his emotions, his mind, his envy, because he didn't embody or apply the correct love of the scriptures, he had to go to his own place, which is the field of blood, which is, he was called and chosen. Like when people try to say that, oh, like once you call, I understand what Paul says that, you know, a person can never fall off. I'm like, y'all are crazy. Because if anybody should never have fallen into that, it should have been all of the 12, right? Because you got to be careful, because with a lot of these seductive New Age thoughts and religions and that are like really close to the truth, you got to be careful. That's why I be turning that crap off. I ain't listening to none of that. Gonna take you to your own place. I want to be with the Father when I go. So I believe that's the last slide. And yeah, that's for another time. Get that off. So that was the Judas Effect. Any questions? Did it make sense? Elder, you mind praying us out?
Sure. Abba Yah, we thank you for this gathering, this Holy Shabbat, and imprint in our minds, Abba Yah, to keep us strong and remember our lesson today and everything that we have taken in to the Passover and so forth, everything that we've learned. Just keep it imprinted in our mind there so we can be doers of your word and not just hearers. In Hamashiach's name, so be it.
So be it. So that's all we got. Shabbat shalom, everybody. Please like, share, subscribe. Shalom, tribe. Oh, we're going to get it. Either us or our kids are going to get it on this side. I strongly believe that. And it's going to be greater than what we could ever even think of. But
No, I think we're not going to get it here.
no. I mean, we had to leave Egypt last